Welcome to what the
Hey, can you get me the data on competitor pricing again? The thing you sent me last week broke. Thanks, bro.
is that even spelled right? When your boss wants you to check data on a site, don't do it manually. Don't parse HTML and CSS. There's a better way. MrScraper turns publicly accessible data into JSON with just an API call and an AI prompt. I've got to turn off Slack while I'm recording. We're going to use MrScraper. You tell it what data you want in plain English, no selectors, no XPath, nothing like that. And it handles JavaScript rendered pages. It rotates proxies so you don't get blocked, and it can serve localized content for anywhere in the world. The thing that matters for devs is that the AI handles the messy part, which is reading the page, right? Dealing with the layout changes, dealing with HTML changes, figuring out where the data lives. The code just makes a post request, and you write that once, and it keeps working no matter how much the site changes. And I even wrapped MrScraper's API into a simple CLI that you can download after you watch this video, but you could plug this into any software you want. I'll give you a repo link to that CLI. They'll give you an example of integration for your own project. Say we're trying to get competitor data for hotel prices. I'm offering hotel prices. I want to see what my competitors are offering so I can stay competitive. So you spin up Puppeteer, headless Chromium, headless browser, right? You're sending it to read the web page, and you're trying to target specific HTML elements, or maybe CSS and all that, and you know what? So, you can get it to work, and then you send that to your boss, right? And that works for like 48 hours, and then you get this text again. Hey, the thing you sent last week broke. My competitor pricing is broken. Okay, boss. Well, we'll fix that for you. Then the site updates their layout, or the selectors break. All you needed was to read publicly available information and put it into JSON. That was your assignment. It shouldn't require Puppeteer, shouldn't require Cheerio, and it shouldn't require a massive maintenance script. And hey, I like Puppeteer and Cheerio, but I also like eating like giant bowls of ice cream. It's okay once in a while, but there's a time and a place. There's a better way. So MrScraper uses AI to read web pages the way you would visually. You don't target HTML elements. You don't have to write selectors. You just describe what data you want, and the AI figures out where it lives on the page and it structures it for you. So for coding, the golden thing is you could give the AI a schema, right? A contract, so you could define the fields, types, structure of the data that you want back, and it conforms the extracted data to your specification. It's not just like, get me some data. It's like, get me this shape of data, and we're getting it in JSON. MrScraper's got an API, so we're calling it from code. We're automating it. We're scheduling it. We're making my boss think that I'm working way harder than I actually am. Let me show you. So for hotels, we go to booking.com, for example. It could be anything really, and we go to a search page where we're talking about where we do a search page for Chicago. This is good enough to get a URL for us to start. For us to get a URL to start, so we're gonna go to listing. So it's going to set up the scraper. This is where the fun part starts. So yeah, we're scraping the whole page. We're going to get this back into JSON. So it comes back with sample results. So it says, what data do you want to scrape? Well, here's where we're going to just tell it. So let's get hotel name, stars, price per night, review score, and address. MrScraper scraping away. SQL by typing, right? SQL by prompting. That in and of itself is sweet. We can see here in table form, we can download that as a CSV. So we saw already, we can get hotel name, prices, reviews, scores, locations, prices on a certain night. I didn't inspect a single element. I didn't look at the page source. I just gave it a prompt and let it run. So that's great for testing, but I'm not logging into a dashboard every week. I need this in code. So let's flip it to the API. So let's pop open Visual Studio Code here. This is my Postman collection. There's also a Postman collection out in the repo. That's pretty sweet. So it's a simple CLI where we wrap everything, get a result, data. So if you go to my GitHub repo, you can get this code, the code that runs this little CLI. The README describes all how it works, but you can just go here. Oh, not who am I? MrScraper. Who am I? Gives you my token plan status, all that, and ensures I am who I am. So we look here in the README. I've wrapped all of the MrScraper API, and I'm not showing this. We can see that we have the CLI that wraps the entire MrScraper API. We have to go and get a token, drop it in, and then we can run some very specific prompts. I encourage you to go out and get your API key and then try this code here at github.com/leaffunnery/MrScraper-demo. There's a README that describes how it all works. And what all this is doing is wrapping the MrScraper API, I can get my cursor there, with some CLI commands. And you can see when we create a scraper, we get a scraper ID, and then we can use the rerun command to run that scraper ID again. And for this CLI, we can output that to JSON. But you can take this code and you can stick it into any of your apps. And this is the power right here. Target URL to scrape, natural language instruction for what to extract, what to extract, AI agent type. Listing is what you want for what we were talking about, pages with repeated items, as it says here. Initial scrape is just going to come back with some example data of live results. Then you do the rerun with the scraper ID and get the results tweaked in any way you want, just with natural language. There it is. Then you're ending up with typed, validated, structured data from a website that has no API. Now just think about what this unlocks. Like, so take out Chicago or take out Denver and put in any city. Put in New York. Put in Austin. Put in Dubuque. Schedule it. Set up like a cron job or whatever. Runs every morning at 6. Pipe the output to Airtable or Postgres or something. My CLI wrapper just dumps it into a file, but again, you've got the code at your hands. Ingest this, set up alerts. Hey, my competitor just dropped their Chicago prices by 15%. So your boss wanted a spreadsheet, and I'm about to give them a real-time intelligence system with minimal dependencies, just TypeScript and a post request to MrScraper API. Now, the thing I care about is that 6 months from now, I'm not going to get a Slack message again saying, oh, the data's broken again. There's no selectors to maintain. There's no scripts to babysit. The AI just rereads the page structure every time. And the whole point here is speed, right? You're not just API response time. The speed that comes from boss sends a Slack message to data is in his hands. If you're a developer, you don't want to become a full-time Puppeteer babysitter. If you're an analyst, you didn't sign up to learn Cheerio. You just need the data in a shape you can work with so you could do your actual job. And MrScraper does that for you and gets it out of your way. Give the AI a schema, get typed JSON back, and move on with your life. MrScraper has a free tier to try, and you can get your API and you can start poking away and seeing what kind of results you get. Just pull down the repo and try it out for yourself. Now, what I like to do when I'm coding is use something like Zod to make sure to build a schema, and you can pass that in to the API and it'll adhere to that schema. And then you can use Zod again to verify that schema on the way back. If you want me to talk more about my Zod pipeline with MrScraper, just leave a comment below. And if enough people want it, that's the next video. I'm not alone, right? If you've got any ridiculous data requests from your boss, stories, please drop those below. I know you've got a story. I would love to hear it. So I'm Lee. Go turn the website into an API today. Thanks for watching. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Leave any comments below. I read and answer them all. I will see you in the next one. Peace.